All right, everyone, thank you for your patience. A few important things before again. Always have to make sure you understand what your rights are, even if you've been here before. Your first right is to remain silent, which means technically when I call your name, you do come to that microphone, your hands must be visible, but you don't have to make a statement. You can remain silent. If you elect to remain silent and you have not entered a plea, we will maintain not guilty for you, which will move this to the next phase, which is likely a pre-trial, but you also have a right to a trial. The trials are before me, which are called bench trials, unless you make a request in writing within the proper time frame for a jury trial. Before either one of those, we will make sure that you know the evidence against you. That means we'll make sure you have the adequate pre-trials necessary. And keep in mind that at the trial, you still have the opportunity or the right to remain silent. You do not have to testify against yourself, and you can cross-examine any witness that the city calls. And if you want to call your own witnesses, but they won't come based on your request, we will even subpoena your witnesses for you. So in addition to the right to remain silent and the right to a trial, you have a right to an attorney. Now, hopefully everyone has had a chance to speak with Mr. Humphrey, who's the defense attorney today. If not, we'll give you the opportunity. Or if you would like to hire your own attorney, let me know, and I'll give you a chance to come back with your own attorney. When I call your name, there are 4 types of pleas you can enter. The first one, not guilty, resets this for another hearing or a trial. You can also enter a plea of guilty where you are admitting what you're accused of. And if you do that, I could sentence you today. There's also a plea of no contest, similar to a guilty plea. The difference is you're not stating with your own words, I'm guilty, but you are not contesting the allegations against you. And then there's a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. If you choose that particular plea, I'd have to stop these proceedings to see where you are in your ability to go forward. But keep in mind that plea is not available for your traffic cases. Speaking of your traffic cases, if you're going to resolve a traffic case and if you get points, the BMV will be notified of your points. Accumulating 12 points on your license will result in a suspension. Driving under a 12-point suspension is normally a jailable offense, so it is important to know where you are in regard to your points. Also, you must have insurance to drive. So if your ticket is marked no for insurance, you would receive a suspension from the BMV. But what I normally do is give you 72 hours to come back with your insurance information, show it to the clerk's office, and we'll update your file. I also give you 72 hours to take care of your fines and costs. So when I mentioned on a plea of guilty or no contest, you can be sentenced. In a municipal court, that means the maximum fine you can get from me is a $1,000 fine, unless it's an OVI. The Ohio Revised Code has limits in regard to that, which are higher than a $1,000 fine. The maximum jail time would be 6 months in jail, but I could also give you no jail time. So that's what I mean by a sentence. Relating that to 72 hours. If we resolve your case today and you cannot pay your fines and costs today within 72 hours, I give you the same amount of time with insurance. You can come back up and request a payment plan. The reason I give you 72 hours is because I do require some type of down payment toward your fines and costs. You make that down payment, we will extend the balance out. That way you're able to pay over time. All right, if there are any additional questions, we'll give you a chance to speak with the defense attorney or the prosecutor. Thank you. All right, Nicole Mautry. Counsel, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is 21 TRC 04651. Counsel, for the record.
Attorney Adam Carroll, Your Honor, bar number 0093551.
Thank you very much. And it looks like we have resolved a matter that was initially an OVI, a BAC charge, and failure to control the vehicle. And Madam Prosecutor, it looks like the charge is going to be, or at least the plea agreement is a plea to the count of the OVI with everything else being dismissed. Is that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So for the record, how do you plead on behalf of your client?
We enter no contest, Your Honor. We waive recitation of facts and stipulate to a finding of guilt.
Okay. Is that acceptable for the prosecutor's office?
Correct.
All right. All right. So what I have here is on December 27th is where we were. Okay. So with that plea, Ms. Mautry, what's going to happen is the BAC and the failure to control would be dismissed, and that leaves us with the OVI. Counsel, it's my understanding this is the second one in 10, within 10, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. And just for clarification, Your Honor, I believe it was a refusal, in fact, and that was being dismissed.
The refusal is being dismissed. Thank you. All right. So, and Ms. Mautry, I know your attorney went over the information in regard to the penalties. So what happens with the second and 10, you're looking at 10 days in jail or 5 days with 18 days of house arrest. So counsel, just starting with that, have you decided if she's available or able to do the house arrest?
She is, Your Honor.
All right.
We'd ask to do the 5 and 18.
Okay.
If possible, we'd also ask that 5 be split up. She does work 2 full-time jobs. She works 7 days a week. If not, she does have a potential time frame to do those 5 days. I believe it would ultimately be the weekend of the 4th of July because our office is closed 2 days in a row, which would give her a benefit of time there, Your Honor.
That's great, because that's what I normally was. Well, that's what I've been doing now. If she could, with the 18, and I haven't even, stated it effectively yet, but it's important to go over this with the 18 days. If she can get that done as soon as possible, then the 5 we can put it off, because I've been giving my probation department the ability to push that as far as we need to, especially with COVID. So that time frame will work for us. All right. So basically, let's go ahead with it on the accepting of the plea. The fine will be, well, as you know, Ms. March, it can be between $525 and $1,625. It'll be $750 plus cost.
And if I may, Your Honor,
go ahead.
Add some mitigation before we get to the full.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, well, let's go.
Your Honor, I just want to make the court aware of what Ms. Maltby has been doing before this incident and since the incident. She's aware that she has an alcohol issue, and she's addressing that issue. We do have a letter here from her counselor from the centers with Circle Health Services, Your Honor, if the court would like to see that.
Okay.
And essentially, Your Honor, she's been working with counseling. She's been working through treatment. She attends AA meetings. She has a sponsor. She's going to IOP. So she understood that there was an issue, and she addressed that issue, Your Honor. And she's continuing to address that issue with continued counseling, continued sponsorship, and continued treatment. She has been sober since the incident, which is something that has been tough for her in the past, but she has remained sober since then, Your Honor. She has not been driving since the incident, so the vehicle has not been moved for 90 days, so we'd ask that be taken into account for the immobilization. And we'd also request that she be given driving privileges here today. With those driving privileges, we understand that the interlock device will likely be required. However, we'd ask to potentially avoid the plates on her behalf, as they are optional in this situation. Those plates would potentially affect one or both of her jobs, just because of the nature of the offense and the ramification of that, Your Honor. We'd also ask that the license suspension be retroactively dated and the ALS be terminated. She will continue with the treatment, will continue with the counseling, continue with her IOP, and I believe she's finding it very helpful to have a sponsor, so it's for someone to talk to and work through this situation, Your Honor. All
right, thank you, counsel. Is this my copy or is this?
Yes, Your Honor, you may keep that copy.
All right, thank you. That's great information for me, and it helps because basically there will be a term of probation. So the term of probation will be for a minimum of 6 months. And with that, it is active, but active means there's a reporting date. And then after that, it's set up through Zoom or some other means until we go back to full reporting in person. That date to report will be April 21st at 2:30. And that is an in-person visit. But then after that, you'll speak with probation about how we're going to set that up. Normally with that, there is drug and alcohol assessment and AA classes, but counsel, based on what you're providing me, and I know probation is going to follow up. It looks like that's happening. So if something's happening that's helping her, we don't add to it. We don't add to the burden. We rather just help you get in the best position you can be. So if there's some way we can work within this. Now, if probation finds that there's some additional things that we feel you need to do, we'll let you know that, and then you'll have to do that. But generally speaking, everything that counsel said seems to be in line with the goals of our probation department. So we'll check on that.
And we can have her sign a release with her treatment program, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So that they can obtain that information.
Thank you. And I will put here that she may apply for the driving privileges now, because it looks like the time frame, which would have been 45 days, has been satisfied. The suspension will be for 12 months. It could be 7 years, but it'll be the 1 year. And it will be from December 27th of last year to December 27th of this year.
Thank you,
180 days in jail, but it's suspending the jail time, giving you the option to do the 5 and 18. And then the fine would be $750. And it looks like that covers it all. Counsel, anything else that needs to be addressed?
For driving privileges, Your Honor, is there paperwork at the clerk's office?
Yes, absolutely. We just need the current insurance as well as your work schedule. And then we'll. Okay, that's excellent. All right, thank you. So I think we're okay. She'll step down and see probation right now to set everything up as far as their first meeting, and we're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Peace. Let me see. How many days has been?
And just for confirmation, Your Honor, since it wasn't addressed on the record, I'm assuming the interlock will be required for the driving privileges.
Yes, but we will not require the plates, and the vehicle immobilization period looks like it's pretty much over at this point, so we're in good shape there. All right. Thank you for that. And if we're saying something about a door, before we were talking about could add an additional door. I guess I'll have him tell us after the document. Right out there. And they have the new scanning for mask and temperature that you don't have to be done. So they just look into it. They're going to bring that down. Yeah. Yeah. So they'll bring it down probably at lunchtime. Show you how to do it real quick, and you can just show them how to do it. All right. Raymond Rolfe. 20 CRB 00607, a drug paraphernalia charge, as well as 20 TRD 02218, driving under suspension, improper travel down the one-way street, illegal plates, and this was all on, it's like July 8th of last year. Counsel, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. As finished 0097902 on behalf of Mr. Rolfe.
Thank you, Counsel. It looks like in 20 CRB 00607, that's the drug paraphernalia. It's being dismissed at court cost only, correct?
Correct.
All right, so we'll go ahead and resolve that. And then we have 20 TRD 02218. The driving under suspension is being amended to no driver's license with the remaining charges being dismissed, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And just so you know, Mr. Rolfe, what happens with the driving under suspension, that's normally a $500 fine. The way your counsel resolved it, it cuts that fine in half. You don't get any points on your license, and you don't get further suspension, and everything else is dismissed. So to that amended charge, how do you plead on behalf of your client?
No contest, Your Honor.
All right. So as I mentioned, I'll accept that. It'll be a $250 fine plus cost. The other charges are being dismissed, no suspension or anything like that. And that case is resolved.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much, Judge. You too.
Nice seeing you. So you said door?
Funniest thing I gotta tell you.
This is all one?
No.
I was about to say. I'm just used to you giving it to all one. Destiny Amos. Miss Amos, 21 TRD 01473 is a sunscreen and speeding from March 15th. The ticket is alleging you were doing 37 and a 25. And for the sunscreen, they marked that 3% of light is coming through. Technically, the law requires 50%. So anytime it's not, you can always get a ticket. It looks like the way we're going to get the case resolved today is that the move-in violation is going to be amended based on the work of yourself with the prosecutor to a no-point violation, and then the sunscreen is going to be dismissed. All right. How do you plead to unsafe motor vehicle, which is the amended charge? How do you plead to that?
No contest.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if I should say guilty or not.
Well, yeah, no contest is good. It's a little bit better. The sunscreen will be dismissed. On the no contest plea, there are no points. It's a $200 fine plus cost. You have insurance, so you're in good shape there. And if you need time to pay, they'll give you the details on the payment plan, okay?
Okay.
All right, you take care.
If I'm gonna go pay now, just go to the clerk.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Isaiah Hodge. Mr. Hodge, 21 TRD 01041, improper plates and a stop sign. It looks like you were going to plead to an amended charge of unsafe vehicle to keep you from getting the points, and the plate charge was going to be dismissed. Is that your understanding? All right, and it looks like you didn't show insurance. Are you going to be able to bring that back? 72 hours. That way you don't get suspended. How do you plead to that amended charge?
No contest.
All right. It'll be a $200 fine plus cost. The other charge is dismissed, so you don't have to pay for that. And you just go to the clerk's window, okay? Any questions?
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
already paid like 170.
Yep, a bond.
Does
So
that go towards it? They told me that.
yeah, because you asked a good question. That will go toward it. So if you need time to pay additional time, we'll give you that.
Okay.
So you're in good shape. Take care. Leon Carter. Sunscreen and speeding in 21 TRD 01676 from March 21st. How are you, sir? Looks like your speeding was going to be amended to unsafe vehicle to keep you from getting any points. And the sunscreen is going to be dismissed. Is that how you want to handle it?
That's correct.
All right. And how do you plead to that amended charge? All right. I'll accept the plea with a finding of guilt. As I mentioned, the $200 fine plus cost, but we will give you time to pay that. All right. Let's go to the clerk's office. Take care. You're welcome. Aaron Stevens, I'm sorry. 17 TRD 0044. This is from December 30th of 2016. A driving under suspension, traffic control device, and obstructed plates. Your case is resolved today with you entering pleas to failing to display your license, which carries no points, no suspension. And it's a lesser charge or lesser fine than the driving under suspension and the seatbelt, but everything else is going to be dismissed. Is that your understanding? All right. To those charges, how do you plead? All right, so the failing to display on finding of guilt will be $200 plus costs. The traffic signal is thrown out. The license plate issue is thrown out, and the seatbelt is $30. So when you go to the clerk's office, again, if you have a bond and if it covers everything, you're in good shape. If not, we'll give you time to pay, okay? Take care. Timothy Perry. Mr. Perry, 17 TRD 01411 from June 1st of 2017, driving under suspension and a tail light. The driving under suspension has been amended to failing to display so that you don't get those points or suspended, and you had insurance at that time. How do you plead to that amended charge? All right, I'll accept the plea with the finding of guilt. $250 plus costs. The other charge is dismissed. You just go to the clerk's office. Take care. James Boyd, no headlights and driving under suspension in 21 TRD 01616 from March 9th. That has been amended to failing to display, keeping you from getting the points. You've shown insurance, and the other charge is being dismissed. How do you plead to that charge? All right, thank you, sir. Again, as opposed to a $500 fine, I cut it in half, so it's $250 plus costs. The other charge is dismissed. You just go to the clerk's office. Take care. Deshaun Roberts. This is a no driver's license charge in 20 TRD 04588 from December 16th of 2020. It's being amended to no driver's license, which carries no points, and it gives you that lower fine. How do you plead to that amended charge? All right, I'll accept the plea with a fine of guilt. It's $250 plus costs. You just go to the clerk's window. Take care, sir. Jasmine Williams. Ms. Williams, 20 TRD 01369, no driver's license and a stop sign. This is being amended to the failing to display, which lowers your fine and keeps you from getting points. And you're going to work, or you have your license now, correct? All right. And let me see, what do they do about insurance? You're in good shape then. So how do you plead to the amended charge? All right, it'll be $250 plus costs, and the other charge is dismissed. You just go to clerk's office. Yeah, it looks like what you posted a bond that has not been forfeited, so you should be in good shape there. They'll do the application when you go there. All right, you take care. Ezekiel Smith, 21 CRB 00263 from March 7th, alleging drug paraphernalia. And it looks like specifically they were saying that you had a digital scale on your possession. But what's happening here, it looks like the defense attorney has worked out for this to be dismissed at court cost only. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
All right. So I'll go ahead and accept that dismissal at court cost. The good thing about that is you don't have anything criminal or alleging criminal behavior on your record. It's just the court cost. So you go to the clerk's office and they'll give you the details there. Okay. All right. Take care, sir. Good morning, Ms. Johnson. Daryl Sams. Mr. Sams, I have 21 CRB 00265, resisting arrest and obstruction of official business. And then there's also 21 TRC 01425, an OVI, driving under suspension and improper passing. And it looks like you're getting your own attorney, correct? All right. So I'm going to give you until May 10th at 9:30. So make sure you work to get your attorney as soon as you can, because if he needs more time, he knows how to contact the court. Bailiff Warford, can you grab this reminder for Mr. Sams? Yes. Thank you, sir. And we'll see you back then.
Are they gonna fix the church in that, you know?
I don't know. I mean, it's still a domestic, it's just higher. I'm sure they don't fix it here, they'll fix it downtown.
Michael Hayes. 21.
I didn't get that.
Oh.
Could you try again?
Siri. How you doing, sir? 21 CRB
I'm not sure I understand.
00217. That is improper handling of a firearm on, looks like February 16th of 2020. And then there was a driving under suspension in 20 TRD 03606, October 16th, 2020. Looks like you're working on getting your license together, so we're going to continue the driving case. And on the improper handling, looks like you were going to enter a plea to the program, to the charge. Request to be entered into the Finish First program. And then it says here there's an agreement that after you finish that program that your firearm will be returned to you. That's the agreement with the city and the defense attorney. Is that your understanding? So what happens with the program, just so you know, there's a fee for the program. It's $425. It's a minimum of 6 months of probation. And what they'll tell you is that there's a class that you have to take. Most of it is online, but they will give you the details. It's 12 sessions. And in the information that you'll get from me, it requires your weekly participation, even though it's online, and you have to do and turn in your weekly homework every week. So let's say, for instance, if you watch the video that's online on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever that is, it has to be turned in on that Friday because that's your attendance every week. You do that the way we're asking you to do it. Then there's also a worksheet that probation is going to give you in regard to firearms. You complete all that, come back before me, and that's when the case will be officially dismissed, and we'll be dealing with this traffic. We're going to set a date for your traffic. Yes, sir. Yep, absolutely.
As far as the program, I'm currently at a financial struggle right now. Like, I really don't have anything to my name. As the insurance goes, the down payment for the insurance is way above my price range. And the monthly payment was agreed to be $300 a month, which I could not provide. The $425 for the program, I won't be able to provide that either.
Okay. So what are you doing as far as working?
As far as working, I was a mechanic, but I've been hidden from my wound because I was struck by gunfire randomly back in August. And the end of December, they found out that my liver, one of the sutures, was still open.
Okay.
So I was bleeding internally. On top of that, I've just been maintaining, staying in the house.
So how are you taking care of yourself with all that going on?
I've been antibiotic and ibuprofen, 800 milligrams.
Okay, and as far as, but you're not able to work, you're not able to.
I'm not able to do a lot of movement at all.
Okay. All right. So the good thing is that my probation is here. They're hearing about that. You just follow up with them to get the further details. I mean, if that is the particular case, we can look into different ways we can handle it. But so I'm glad you brought that to my attention. So what I'm gonna do though right now, Mr. Hayes, I'm gonna put it down. First of all, the day you're gonna meet with probation is gonna be the 19th, which I believe is next week at 9 a.m. I'm gonna put down here that you're gonna owe me that $425, but once you talk with probation and all that, we'll figure out what we need to do at the end. All right. And who do you live with?
My girlfriend currently.
Okay. You have any children?
I'm sorry.
No? And how old are you?
29.
Okay. Yeah. The date you're going to come back on your traffic case to see me is going to be June 16th at 1 p.m. The date you're going to meet with probation is going to be next week, April 19th at 9 a.m. And so again, I'm going to put down here, Miss Ivy, let me pass you this too. So the information on the program that you're going to be doing online with me. And it's very clear on there. And if you have any questions, always talk to probation, but you got to do the work every week because otherwise you're not present. And Mr. Hayes, I want to do what I can to look out for you. So give me your 100% effort here so that when you're coming back before me and you're doing all these things like, Judge, can you look out for me on the fee? Can you look out for me and get my gun back? All those things will be easier for me because you've done everything I asked you to do.
Okay.
All right. Any questions, sir?
One thing, does the record reflect that I do have my the certificate?
Which one is that?
That is for the concealed carry.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad you made that statement. Counsel?
I was gonna state that as well as the fact that he does have a receipt for the firearm.
Okay. So I'm going to put that right on my notes here. All right. Anything else?
If I can add one more thing, the only reason that my certificate wasn't turned in, because the first time I set the appointment, as you know, it's like a 5-month span going on.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I was struck by gunfire, so I missed it. The second time I was in the hospital, and that was 10 months apart.
All right.
10 months apart. I was in the hospital. The third one was just set for July 14th, which I don't think I'm going to be able to obtain once again.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I need this other file and write in the other part for the traffic. I don't think I put it in there. So you're 29 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
You graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
And what were you doing before this tragic situation happened?
Mainly just working on cars. And,
Okay.
I was trying to go to not OTC, but just another car school basically. But I wasn't allowed to get in because of my brother.
Okay. And then, if you don't mind, man, I know you're gonna be on probation. How'd you end up getting shot?
I was walking to the store.
So you don't know the people who did it?
Don't know,
It's like-
don't know none of the situation. I walked into it. When I seen them, I backed up. When I went to run away, I got shot.
Was it intentional, or did you get caught in gunfire? Was it?
I was the only person out there. It was
Okay.
almost 9:30 in the morning, and I was just going to the store.
What city was it in?
Cleveland.
Okay. Because I asked you all that because just from what you presented, you know what I mean, my goal is always to look beyond the mess and find that pure goodness in a person. And I'm like, this brother is presenting all his evidence, got his certificate, got his information. I'm thinking, why aren't you a lawyer? Why aren't you, you know what I mean? Something like that. And keep in mind, you can still, especially now that things have changed for you physically and what you originally was going to do may have adjusted. Now start using that brain because I see you got it. Start using your mind to make your money now. Maybe go back to school. It took me a while. I went to law school at night. You know what I mean? So I didn't just drop everything, Ms. McCullough. So that's something that you can take as many years as you need to. But I'm saying don't limit yourself, especially what you've been through, because not only can that be a testimony for somebody else, but to show your entire turnaround, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And this is just the beginning because what we're going to be doing through our program is going to give you some confidence and tools to move in that direction. All right. All right. You just step right down. Take care. Freddie Dumas. Mr. Dumas, 21 CRB 00298, misuse of 911. And it is being amended to a minor misdemeanor of disorderly conduct, which means you're not going to get any jail time. And the fine is only a maximum of 150. So it takes it from being first degree misdemeanor. How do you plead to that minor misdemeanor?
I guess I would say no contest.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I remember when I saw you when you came up, you were downstairs in jail for 4 days, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So where are you living at now?
1517 Garfield Road.
Okay. In East Cleveland?
Yes.
All right. So when you called the police, what was going on?
At the time, my girlfriend came to the house saying she wanted to get the rest of her stuff from me, from my house.
All right.
And I guess she didn't like the company that I was keeping.
Okay.
Which was another girlfriend.
All right.
Anyway, pretty much that was it. We had 3 words. That was a bottle that me and girlfriend was drinking on, and she picked it up and literally bust my head, and I called
911.
911. But this is the second time I've been here for the same thing.
Okay.
That whoever receiving the call keeps saying I'm excessive using it when I'm not doing it no more than 4 times.
Okay.
Come to find out, the dispatch lady and my girlfriend are first cousin.
Okay.
Our cousins.
Well, this is what we do. I mean, obviously, if you're getting in a fight and you're trying to avoid it and somebody's hitting you in the head, you want to call 911. So I don't ever want to tell you not to call 911. But try to use a little patience. I mean, I don't know what goes on. Don't call over and over. Give them a couple minutes. Give them 5 minutes or so to get there. So that you don't end up wasting time in jail. But because you are entering a plea of no contest, the city prosecutor was kind enough to reduce it to a minor misdemeanor, and you serve for 4 days. There'll be 0 fine, 0 cost. Just leave and be blessed. All right.
She's actually moved out.
All right, there you go. So we shouldn't have that issue no more.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you too, sir.
Christine Wilson. Ms. Wilson, this is 20 TRD 04132, a traffic light violation from November 16th. And then 20 TRD 01222, a red light violation from March 20th of 2020. It looks like that particular case is going to be dismissed because you're going to resolve the second charge. And in 20 TRD 04132, they are amending it so that you don't get any points. Is that your understanding?
Yeah.
And you had insurance.
Yeah.
So how do you plead to the no point violation?
No contest?
Okay, yep, no contest is a way to get it resolved by saying I'm not contesting what they're saying. We threw out one entire file. On that no contest, it'll be a $200 fine plus cost. And if you need time to pay, you just go to the clerk's office. All right, you take care. You're welcome. Bailiff Wharf, I just thought about something you mentioned like 2 weeks ago with my how I adjust my tone sometimes. Tanisha, easily my tone. Because I think I don't know, I don't know. Good morning. All right, so this is from 16 CRB 00230, March 1st, 2016, and you have been on probation. Miss Ivory, how are we doing today?
Yes, Your Honor. Before you, Miss Easley. Miss Easley was placed on probation by this court in 2016. She turned out being violated. She was picked up by EC police on another incident. Not sure if she was charged on it or not, but anyway, another incident. They brought her in, released her on personal bond and placed on the docket today. She was originally placed in the mental health docket for this court. As it turned out, she didn't report there. They sent the case back to EC, and she was working with Children Family Services based on the charge of child endangering.
Okay.
She didn't complete the programs the child endangering, the Children Family Services wanted her to do, and that was the parenting class and anger management class, which coincided a little bit with this court wanted her to be able to do anyway. But she stopped reporting to probation. Okay. And that's when the violation. But during that time, I was in constant contact with her case manager with Children Family Services. They had long before certificates that she had completed. But I don't know if she believed that since she had finished with Children Family Services, that meant she was finished with East Cleveland also. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt on that. And she said there were some issues with her mom's illness and stuff. So in any case, Your Honor, we're asking that probation be terminated since she did complete those 2 programs. The 2 years that she was placed on probation, 2 years at that time, Your Honor, was because she was going to children, the mental health docket, which is their requirement, not based on what she had done. She still owes a balance of $554 on this probation case and a total of $1,021 on all her collected cases to the city of East Cleveland. So we're asking that probation be terminated.
And Ms. Easley, are you working currently? All right. So what you're gonna work out a payment plan to take care of some of your fines and costs? Are you driving too? Well, what I can do, because I was gonna say, this can mess up your ability to drive. But what I can do is, if you begin a payment plan with us, where are you working at? All right. So if you begin a payment plan with us, I'll release whatever blocks we have and give you driving privileges, right? And what I'm going to do to assist you in that, along with that, is Miss Ivory is saying that you owe us over $1,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacate what you owe me on this case. So I'm going to knock out $554. So now you have under $500 more that you owe us. We can get you on a payment plan for that. We can release any blocks so that you can get to driving, okay? All right. Any questions about that? All right, so when you're ready to do the payment plan, come on up here, and I'm putting here that we're you can do that? Okay. And I'm vacating $500 for $554. All right, you can go. What was it?
It was she was picked up on, they were doing some dirt bike racing,
Oh,
and that's how, huh? Well, that's what they said to me on the phone, I'm sorry, but.
they have your bike? Did you get new
That's what
charges?
they see.
Where the new charges at?
I just.
Did you get a ticket?
Yeah, I think so.
When are you supposed to come to court on that? Is that what your ticket said?
No, she was being brought to court today on the probation violation.
Yeah, so when you got a ticket for the dirt bike riding, right? What did you believe your court date was? Did you look at the ticket? Did it say?
I didn't.
Because how did she come on your radar?
Because the police called me because the case is that probation had.
So we just need to figure out where's our ticket at.
Yeah.
Because right now I don't have that charge before me. So what we can do is you can have a seat in the hallway, maybe Ms. McCullough or Bailiff Warford or someone who can assist you with that. Because right now I can't even make a decision on that because I don't have it in front of me. But you're looking at they have your motorcycle or something like that?
Yeah, they got my TV.
Okay. Yeah, you got to find out when you got to come to court. The only problem is our clerk's office I see a line out there. If nothing else, wait for that line. Somebody will help you out and tell you when your court date is. It could be today, and if it is, we'll bring you back in either if we're still in this morning or this afternoon. All right, take care. All right, you're welcome. So, gentlemen, before I take a break, I want to let you know I'm Judge Dawson. We're going to have you speak with the defense attorney. I'm going to leave so that he can have more privacy to speak with you. But you have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and you have a right to a full hearing. If you are charged with a misdemeanor, that means you have a right to a trial in this court. If you are charged with a felony, that means you have a right to a probable cause hearing, which is a hearing for the city to indicate to me that a felony was committed in East Cleveland, and they tell me why they believe you did it. Not that you're guilty, because all they're trying to do is show me that this is a misdemeanor court and I can't handle a felony. And if you know anything about law, the felonies go downtown. So that's a hearing that would take place. It does not determine your guilt. But you can also say, Judge, I don't want that hearing because I know what they think I did. I'm still not guilty, but go ahead and send this to the appropriate court. With that, I'll set a bond for you and a court date, which will be Monday, 12th floor of the Justice Center at 9:45, but I will give you a reminder. But all of that will be re-explained to you when you get a chance to speak with Mr. Humphrey, the defense attorney. All right? Thank you, gentlemen.
All rise.